Now, the conclusion of Cup number 2 as the draft is getting underway. Feels
All
good.
right. Draft on, ladies and gentlemen. The grand final, Battlefield of Eternity, is our first map in the best of 5. And you already guessed it, it is a rematch. The Last Dance against Washed Up. Last week, Washed Up was able to win this particular match with a 3-0, but Last Dance has already said that they want revenge, and they are highly motivated to take Washed Up down. Now they have a chance to make that happen here today, and let's see if it works out that way. It's kind of funny in and of itself that we have the same grand final happening again, but I really can't wait to see if Washed Up is able to repeat the performance from last week, or if all of a sudden we have the Last Dance winning maybe a map, maybe 2, or take the whole thing.
Rhaegar removed. So far, we're seeing a lot of the heroes that have dominated throughout this tournament getting taken out. This should probably be an Ana ban as the last ban, because Banana.
Now you have actually 2 of them, right? It's not only Banana, but you also have Banzelia. So, yeah. It's normally Banana's Ana that we're worried about a little bit, and this time Banana's Ana doesn't actually get banned, which might mean that we end up with Ana and Banana, but then also Zelia playing a lot of Ana today, which is a little bit Bananas, but it's Banana who picks on Ana.
Yeah, the Banana is picked up, the Ana is picked up instead of being Banana, so we do have that as the first pick. So now, what do we see from the side of the Last Dance? Wobby, Breeze, potential offlaners with your rail already taken. We've seen them go for some solid racing with Greymane taken out. They could steal the Li Ming away, and that would be pretty sensible, removing that from the Ana combination. And they do. Li Ming, and they get Breeze on Diablo.
Yep, Toxic Diablo, as usual, Breeze's favorite skin on this one. And the one thing that I already kind of feel... I honestly, the one thing that really I find kind of cool is that we don't have the exact same combo again. So homework was they did some homework. They actually looked at the compositions. I mean, again, it's kind of fun to see Last Dance going in the same composition on the same map twice, so that's kind of cool. But in this case, it's kind of neat that it doesn't have a third time in a row, because at some point you want to have a little bit of variation around that. But we have now the good old Garrosh Zarya combo, so it's actually going to be the Speedster Garrosh setup with Zarya Speed Bubble on level 4. So I kind of like that, and that is incredibly strong on this map.
It is. It's interesting seeing Garrosh and Diablo as the first 2 picks when Johanna was available here. But like you said, this composition hasn't really seen play at all this tournament, when it did see quite a lot of play last Cup. So it's nice to see it come in here. Now they just need someone to capitalize on those tosses from Garrosh, who's going to synergize well with that Ana. Vala would have been a fantastic option, but she is banned, and that removes the top 3 hero racers when it comes to Battlefield of Eternity.
I mean, one of the reasons why we actually didn't see the lineup is that Garrosh was banned out a lot. Like, we had him banned on so many times here, and this is actually one of the reasons why. Because you want to dodge out on exactly that combo. If you have Zarya in the 4-man at the bottom of the map, she is just incredibly powerful there. And then once you have the speed barrier for Garrosh, he is just totally going race car style and can go for the throw. Now, as we said, normally you have like let's say a Malfurion in there, right? You can capitalize with the stun after you flip him back into the back line. But the Ana setup alone also works. So you have shields from Zarya, you got Ana in. It's a really strong setup for them. But Breeze goes back with Whoopi to what they did previously. They're stacking stuns. This time it's not that Imperious plus maybe Blaze setup, but they have Diablo and Imperious here, so that's 2 stuns that you can more or less reliably stack, and then Chris and Poik will have to try and follow up with damage to get the target taken down, and it will be a pretty hype game here. I mean, this is going to set the pace for the entire series.
So much burst on this side against a Zarya Ana. There is some protection there. Chromie and Blaze to finish up here. Blaze with the extra hard engage for AoE. Chromie with some siege potential, and will hopefully be a little safer against this Imperious Diablo.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very, very tanky frontline here already with Blaze, Zarya, plus Garrosh, so there's a lot of tools to really keep the team alive, and that's exactly what you need there. Could have gone for something a bit more aggressive on the offlane, of course, if they were trying to get more damage in, but this setup is really cool also for the later on team fights. Zelia, again, for the 3rd time in a row now with his Lucio over here. Actually, yeah, not on this map, but in the previous matches, he always locked that Lucio in very quickly and is also super, super strong with that. And especially, of course, with that setup that he has around the sound barrier. But that sets us up. Draft for game number 1, pretty solid on both sides. We've seen both teams play fantastic games today already. And now that we have such a great frontline also for Washed Up, the 4-man performance is going to be the one thing that I watch out for the most. The interesting part with them is actually that normally, we've seen this from Quacknix's team, for example, they rotate a hero from the 4-man towards the top and are trying to take one of the camps. With the setup that you see here, they are just going to straight up try and take that camp. And it will be very likely Last Dance who are rotating hero topside in an attempt to trade one camp for another so that each team walks away with one.
You're probably right. The question is, will we see reactionary plays, or like you said, will it just be the simple trade-off 1-for-1? That one is more likely to see here, and it's going to be looking at the race potential of both teams is where we're going to start to see the difference here. Leeming, Reina, of course, fantastic. Chromie is basically, and maybe Feel the Heat if we see that on Zarya, the only race we're actually going to see from the side of Washed Up. So race-wise, much better for the Last Dance. Washed Up need to make sure they're taking those engagements very well.
Yeah, they're going to look for those team fights as we're heading into the game now, and we're going to see who wins those at the end, who takes the Immortal. But now as we are already on the map, let's have a bit of a look, especially at the impact that Zarya is going to have here. We have Feel the Heat as the level 1 talent, Feel the Heat for Zarya. As we're heading into this first game, Battlefield of Eternity, the 4-man, as expected. Down at the bottom with the Zarya setup, lasers rotated topside. In the Last Dance, they currently have 2 heroes at the top of the map, with Poik just trying to help out Wooby a little bit initially and keep Quasar down.
Breeze rolling in with Feast on Fear this time. Heals on stuns. Now that can be very good for sustain if he's able to continuously get those stuns, and we've seen him lean quite heavily, in fact, on that diabolical momentum, which will mean more stuns. Nearly gets Masquerade over the wall, but Masquerade instead is the one who throws first. Pulled into tower range, takes a lot of the damage, and Masquerade pinged by towers.
Yep, Garrosh is down, and that's a pretty good start for Last Dance. That's exactly the kind of setup you want to have when you're looking for a revenge final over here. So that one's down. Top side, what do we have here? Poik and Wooby still fighting this out. But it's honestly impressive to me if you think about it. You have a 3 versus 4 setup at the bottom of the map, and Garrosh goes down, so that's not really how this should start. Now, again, early game kill, nothing really comes of it. They couldn't take camp on the back of it or anything, and the death timer is low, so Masquerade is back, but still a little bit annoying for Washed Up.
Masquerade gets the shield, no speed barrier yet though, but he will give Nick some energy. Nick also eating all of Lucio's autos for even more power here, and just immediately sieges in with the grenades. And yeah, Zarya grenades plus Chromie just blasting away at these towers, doing so much damage already.
Yeah, Liming is now back down here. The camp at the top lane, never even taken, so that at least helps him here, but you can really tell that the structures at this point are having a big problem. That Zarya setup is quite powerful. And now we have the rotation top side that will allow them to take 2 camps. So they're ending up in exactly that situation that I thought Last Dance was trying to avoid by claiming 1 camp for themselves. But there's not really a whole much to be done. So now bot lane, just imagine Immortal going through here. Wall pretty much non-existent, so that's a really good initial setup for them. Very, very well done here. Now we have level 4, that means the speed barrier. And that kind of completes the combo between Garrosh and Zarya.
It does. Masquerade gets that speed barrier, rushes in, autos the tower and rushes out. Due to the fact there was no one in that bottom lane to maybe engage on in this case. Going to be seeing Sacrificial Soul for the Diablo. Nice to see here. A little bit of extra souls, and that 25 armor is absolutely superb. And it's Triumvirate, this time for Li Ming. Lots of ranged harassment. Let's see if they're able to get some value out of it. And also debilitating dart for the Ana.
Yeah, debilitating dart in Triumvirate. I mean, Triumvirate has pretty much been the norm. I was almost surprised that today we saw 2 Limings actually deviate away from it.
Yeah.
Because it has been the staple now for a long time. But it just shows again that on level 4 you can pretty much go for really any pick here on Liming, so that's pretty cool. It's more of a personal preference than anything else. Push at the bottom of the map with the camp, push at the top. Still time for the Immortal, and already Masquerade just zipping around with a speed barrier, looking for someone that he can flip into the team.
Charge coming in. They're trying to take down Blaze, but he rolls away. Zalia making sure everyone is safe with that speed boost, keeping it safe.
Halftime show taken. So for now, last dance with a slight advantage on this. But there's still so much pressure from the red team as they're trying to come in for the flip, the stun, the follow-up, and Whoopi takes the damage like a champ, but he dies regardless. Whoopi down, and that's a kill just at the right moment in time. Ana gets stunned out by the Immortal, but still, they're trying to take this down as quickly as they can, but their own Immortal is already about to be eliminated. Chris with the Exterminator on level 1 can just absolutely wreck that thing, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, holding it together. They just don't have the race with Chromie. Even if they were able to defend that, Li Ming able to consistently poke it down would have won the race. An attempt was made, but Chromie isn't good enough in this particular scenario for that type of play. Blaze stunned out the classic Lucio Diablo chase, but they're going to be able to get the kill there. Although Sleep Dart, could Zalia be perished? He could, as a nice little flip from Garrosh sets up the counter kill.
Yeah, Zalia gets caught there and taken down right away. Nick at the top with Zarya is getting a bit more energy. Puts the shield down just as the Immortal tries to go for the hit, and now with Feel the Heat and the bit of energy that he has is just starting to take this thing down before he can eliminate the fort itself. But it has done a significant amount of damage. I mean, he moved through all of this and nearly took the fort down, but bot lane gets defended. It's even a lead experience for Washed Up. I mean, it's not a big one by any means, but still a little bit ahead. And 2 kills against 1. So we are off to a really good first game.
Gonna see the camp stolen away. Nicely done here. Diabolic Momentum, by the way. Seemingly standard for Breeze these days. It is a very solid ability. And Zarya, Battle Zarya coming out here with Explosive Barrier on that level 7. And into the fray. Masquerade in position now to save allies.
Yeah, also top side, still our 1 versus 1 battle with Whoopi and Quasar. I mean, it feels like the teams are currently showing a lot of respect for each other and not really committing too heavily to any kind of attack right now. It's more so just trying to see if you can maybe catch someone on the map, if you can prepare and wait out for the next objective, make sure that you don't fall too far behind and allow the opponent to walk away, let's say with an early level 10, for example. But these rotations, as we see them here, put Hazo, for example, a little bit under pressure, so he needs some assistance. And that always opens up an opportunity to get some extra damage onto the fort, which Last Dance uses whenever they can. So they have already taken this down to half HP, which is pretty solid for them. And this is when the Immortal is announced on the map. Immortal number 2 coming up.
Last Dance holding for the moment, very patient, just waiting for their opportunity. They're a little bit behind in experience, but like you said, structure-wise, they're doing very well here. Everyone's going to pull back, so that's your charge from Wubby. Big stuns coming in onto him, but here's Lucio for the save, and Breeze with an extra stun to make sure that Wubby doesn't get focused down too hard and is able to escape.
But still a really good job by Washed Up to also, you know, show that aggression and just coming in every single time with another play to try and get that stun in with Masquerade. And that's just the power that you have when you're running this particular setup, where you have the opportunity to just speed him up. Nick in this case also in the middle of things with the damage output, the taunt, and that's the kill. That's the beauty of the early level 10 ability. Diablo down, Lucio is also taken apart. They're going in for the triple kill, and they're making it happen. Whoopi is down, and that is just such a great opening for this second Immortal phase for Washed Up. That couldn't have gone any better for them.
Hoig did a fantastic job clearing out some bot lane, though, able to get some counter pressure there. And that was interesting reversal there, with Garrosh delivering Zarya to the enemy team via the Into the Fray, able to get the final kill there in that fight. Nice little reversal as opposed to the usual speed barrier. And finally, level 10 is available for the side of the Last Dance.
Also down to the middle, again a little bit more poke towards the Immortal right now. It's actually it's a little bit of an aggressive setup. With the camp taken, they lose some time here. That allows Last Dance to come in and get some shots secured with Chris, who has to of course back off as Masquerade moves in again. But they are still willing to force that fight, and of course time is now working in favor of Washed Up since they have the camp pushing through the top. So it's a really good setup to get more pressure onto the fort, especially since Blaze has also moved in to help out with that a little bit. So that makes this a really annoying setup for Last Dance, because if they can't make a move, they will lose a lot of HP at the top structure.
Trying to move in. Here's the throw onto Wobby. Temporal Loop coming back in. They're trying to drop the Angelic Armament. Tanks him through. Hits the taunt. Wobby into the stun of the Immortal. But he tagged through with the sound barrier. Breeze in the backline, causing mayhem here. And that sound barrier from Lucio absolutely saving the day.
Yeah, and Last Dance is trying to win that Immortal right now. They somehow saved Whoopi, but they had to use everything. Chris dodges out on the stun. Barely, by the way. But topside is getting value. The entire wall has already fallen. Another minion wave is pushing in. That Shaman is still alive and kicking, and instead they're moving in to try and take the Immortal down, and this might as well be it. Washed Up is going in, and they are so close. 100 hit points, and they get it. But Blaze falls, and thanks to the stun lockup, we see Zarya die as well.
They get the kills, but they do lose the Immortal, which will now be pushing in the bot lane. However, they're going to trade it for a fort. Li Ming getting some good damage in top lane, and her and Lucio will finish off the job up there so that they have a counter fort up here. And the fact is, if they're able to clear bot lane fast enough, they might be able to get that too, because Li Ming's been pressuring that all game. Right now, it's just Chris and Breeze who have been left down here to defend this. Zalia will arrive, though, for the assist, but this fort looks like it might die.
Yeah, a little bit more damage here from Poke. Even if you don't get it right away, you should be able to get it later when you just move in with Chromie for a bit of extra damage. It holds for now, but still. Now, damage-wise, Chromie and Zarya are currently leading the charge. We have 18,000 and 15,000. 15,000, by the way. The 15,000 of Zarya are matched by Li Ming, who is also 15k on the other side, so those are currently the top 3 damage dealers in the game here. Level 13 talent is in, there's the setup, and Bunker has to be baited out, and I think he's just delaying the inevitable, but I'm wrong. They Quasar gets saved as Wooby says, "You're mine," and darts in, but nicely played by Garrosh, just flipping it out a second before that stun connects.
Nicely done as well, and got very lucky as well as the Angelic Armament. Shots came through looking for the finishing blow, unable to land it, and no finishing shot there. And we see Mercenaries being taken. Kazuras for the side of Washed Up in exchange for the Last Dance's Fallen Shaman camp before the objective is up. So it's a little early to be grabbing that, but they're going to try and use it to defend this fort.
Yeah,
Chromie though.
Poke, and goodbye. Bam. Fort down. Structure lead. Negated. Not quite. I mean, again, blue team is still slightly ahead. They have done more damage at the bottom of the map to the fort than was done at the top left, but still, it kind of evened out now. So yeah. With 13 versus 13, time to shine. 5 kills against 3, but can Washed Up win another fight around the Immortal here? That's the question.
Gonna have to see for now. They're just going to rush up and grab themselves another Kazuha camp, keep the pressure on the map. This will be into the lane with no fort in it, but it will snipe the fountain. And if we don't see reactions, could cause some damage to those tier 2s. So we'll have to see how Washed Up play around this. Washed Up, again, still a little bit ahead in terms of experience, and they are going to get the better positioning and the better head start on the objective.
Yeah, off we go. A little bit of poke. And that's, of course, where Chromie absolutely excels now. Gets the poke in, slowly but steadily. She's sitting at 29 stacks on her level 1. Same time now, Dibbles on 62 stacks, so getting that hit point pool a little bit higher up. And yeah, both teams are simply looking for the opportunity again. Already a little bit of scouting happening with Reyna's Raiders as well. But look at Wooby coming in from behind here, and Banana Age locks him down immediately with a sleep. Wooby trying to escape here, has to pop his ult as well, gets taunted into the turret range, and Zarya comes through and shuts him off, and Wooby is dead. Nice attempt by the blue team to save him. Didn't work out that way. Now they're even trying to get a bit more damage onto Chris, but he walks out of harm's way just as the top lane gets pushed even more from the camp the blue team took earlier.
Camp's still going in the top lane. Finally, Dequaza going to come deal with this. So they're going to get a little bit of damage onto the tier 2s, but like I said, that Immortal halftime show going to be captured. This looks like a very high shield Immortal right now.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, honestly, it starts to become a bit tricky for them. And if they... And with them, obviously, I'm talking about Last Dance here. They lost a couple of fights already. They have a lot of chances to come back into this if they just take a kill or two. But if they lose now out on the Immortal in such a huge fashion, then that thing is going to beast its way through the top lane, take the fort down, and also probably knock the wall at the keep. But here comes the play. Breeze comes in with the combo. The save for Nick. Quasar dashing in. They're trying to turn it. Once again, Diablo's getting attacked. Yes, we have Poik starting to attack from the side with the combo. One Li Ming shot after another fight against Masquerade, who's still surviving here. Everybody's low on both sides, a little bit more so for the blue team, but they're still walking out with all 5 members, and Zelia is doing his best to heal everybody back up.
Everyone going to be topped up. They survive for now. Nick moves into Siege. He's got quite good energy, so he's going to get some very solid damage output from this. Make their way forwards. Safe dart is dodged, so they didn't see anyone in the bush, but it's enough to scare the rest of the Last Dance.
15.5, half a level missing until level 16. Time's working against the Last Dance. A problem for them right now. They know it too. Here comes the attack against Whoopi again. Stuns everywhere. Stuns everywhere, and Whoopi somehow manages to get out, but the taunt connects. They're still trying to kill him, but they just can't. Instead, they're turning on Breeze, and Diablo is down. He didn't have the full soul stacks. He's not coming back anytime soon. They go for Whoopi again. Chromie is dead though. Nice kill by Whoopi. He's looking for more. He's looking for a follow-up. He himself is low, but they kill Garrosh, and Whoopi somehow survives and just contributed to 3 kills. Calm the hell down. Whoopi absolutely crushing on Imperius.
The Last Dance starting to take some control. Zelia prevents the camp being stolen and gonna let that camp... Oh, he's gonna leash it? Or is he gonna let it expire? He lets it expire. Camp goes down, but he prevented anyone else from capping it here. He's here to help with his team, and they are about to get an insane push here. And the fact Whoopi is alive for this is a goddamn miracle.
Yeah, it honestly is. And if he would have fallen, I mean, he should have, I think, died 3 times at least. If he dies at any of those 3 moments when they were trying to focus him and trying to just put the finishing touches on his kill, this would have been a total snowball in this fight, because Breeze was already dead at the time. If Whoopi falls too, they don't have a frontline anymore, and everybody was just on the verge of falling, and it was such a close battle. But now, it's a lead again for the Last Dance. It's just back and forth the entire time. I mean, it's unlikely that the Immortal is going to get the key, but just as I say, they committed the Apocalypse and try to zone them out here.
The sound barrier, sorry, not the sound barrier, sorry, the sleep denying that Apocalypse, and that's going to force the retreat. Not having that big heroic will force them to back out, and washed up, hold themselves in the game. Quasar looking for his chance, but look at Whoopi.
Yeah, wants to go for Ana, and the sleeping dart. Banana H has none of that. He's coming, he's like, you know why people ban Ana against Banana? That's why, exactly that. So, yeah, reaction time right there, right between the eyes, sleep dart, and now let's go. Masquerade, it's out, still blue team pushing.
Absolutely mental, dude. There's so many times people should have died here, and it's getting turned on. But now the pressure coming in, the siege, the keep is even lower as Garrosh gets speed barriered in, but can't find the target. Whoopi, little deep, gets stunned, but no follow-up.
Yeah, they're trying to look for the stun here. Oh boy, a little bit too close for comfort. Immediately jumps out. They flip attempt the stun, and they go for Li Ming. Poik, the sound barrier. Garrosh dies. What a play again from Last Dance, and that's gonna be key. The keep goes down. Good aggression from Washed Up, but it was expected in the Last Dance. Take the opportunity, take all the force that comes in, grab Garrosh, and just destroy him. Well done.
Nicely done, picking up that kill. They got the keep, and now top lane is being pressured too. They spear. Honestly, Hasu, these time traps have been absolutely crazy. He went for chronic conditions here, and that's been great speed boost for his team. He's been saving them with his own sort of pseudo cleanse. He has been playing out of his mind this game.
Yeah. I mean, some people say Chromie herself is a chronic condition. I tend to agree. Top side,
oh, dear.
Chris taking the next camp here. 7 kills against 7. But yeah, structural position is pretty clear. 1 keep down, only 1 keep remaining for Washed Up. And on the left side, there's still even a fort in play. So, good spot to be in for the Last Dance. Which is honestly impressive. Again, I feel like 5 minutes ago it was the exact opposite. There was a slight lead for the red team, but it's just that back and forth play between the 2 teams that we want to see here in the grand final.
Will we get a face check? He is spotted. Angelic Armaments, Temporal Loop, Toss, Throw, Taunt, everything but APOC hits. Whoa, only one person, only hits Zarya here, who's able to tank through nicely. However, Bunker has expired another time trap to cancel the charge of Wobby. It's absolutely insane, but finally, Dayquaza might fall here, focus down, and taken out by Lucio.
And once again, great control and focus on the blue team side. They do extremely well in those high pressure situations right now. And Wooby always coming in from the side, trying to find the flank, trying to put someone under pressure in the back line, just interrupt the flow a little bit between Washed Up. And so far, it's actually working. As long as they can really make sure that the synergy for Washed Up isn't working as it usually does, they find themselves in a great position here. And of course, that is likely another Immortal, and we're also looking at a solid experience lead. Washed Up needs a kill. They need something, because they are starting to completely lose control of this.
They really are starting to fall behind. Masquerade moves forward, looking for his angle, for his opportunity. Nick still mounted up. It's going to speed barrier Masquerade, get him out of danger. But like you said, that's a full shield, almost immortal. Bot lane's getting pressure, but they'll be able to clean that up in one go, so they don't really have to worry about that for the rest of this defense. But now they have to defend the core, because this keeps going down. There's no question about that. They have to defend the core against a very high shield immortal.
Yeah, and I'm more so than anything else worried that with level 20 talents coming in, they're just going to get completely wrecked in this fight. So what they really need is to find some kind of angle to get that kill, get a good move in with Masquerade. The problem is, that's obviously something that The Last Dance knows as well. There's the attempt at a setup, alright. No ult use just yet, but the kill against Jimmy, that one was absolutely perfect. Can they get Whoopi, Sound Barrier? And the Whoops does that too. The keep is down, but those two kills should have just secured them at least the game. But it's not over just yet. They're still trying to go for it.
Breeze is looking to make his way for the core. They're going to try and race it. The Immortals are full health. He into the fray. Zarya, who's onto the Apocalypse here, trying to buy time for the Immortal. That's broken its way through the shield. Started to Diablo. He's at full souls. He will be back, but not available for the fight. The Immortal going down, but the core is taking a lot of damage here. And they finally force the retreat, killing off Diablo. But the core dropped to 49%.
49% on the core. They hold for now. They have their 20. They got 3 kills here. But first of all, now they need to dominate those lanes for the simple reason that they need vision. They can't afford to lose vision on lane, because we've seen already one backdoor victory for The Last Dance. And it could just happen again, with Lucio speeding them up, everything that they can do here. So what Washed Up needs now is momentum. They need momentum. They need to have team fight control. Because if they build a momentum that allows them to take structures down, they can slow this problem down a little bit.
Now,
and with problem, I mean, once that the next fight starts over the objective, it's going to be, of course, like a slow play from Last Dance, since they know that the Winions are going to win it for them.
Well, everyone except for Imperius is heading across the map. I think they're planning on backdooring. Imperius looking for the enemy team, seeing if they were pushing, but because he lost vision of them, you see that backdoor attempt is cancelled, and they do retreat. If Imperius had seen them in lane, the idea was Wobby delays the ports, and the rest of the team rush core.
I honestly don't think that it's going to be that easy for them to end this here. Not against someone like Hazops and Nick.
Yeah.
They will expect it. They will sit there and say... I mean, again, the question at the end of the day is, can you cover all the angles, right? Because you have 2 lanes that you need to protect, and you need to also care about the objective, and that's just too much. They need another kill. If they get that, then a great spot. If they don't get that kill, though, then eventually, if the blue team just slow plays it, they will lose out on the game. So this is like the interplay that we have between the two of them right now. Washed Up is interested to play this as quickly as they can, and The Last Dance are gonna make a slow attempt here to just like stall for time.
Gonna be zoned away here. They're being forced out. As Zarya gonna try and make the most of that field of heat to race the Immortal. Hasu getting some shots in, but they're still in range to try and turn it round if they want to. They're holding it for the moment, though. It's the upgraded Nano Boost coming in for Ana here. You can see the wraparound, but the vision is acquired. They notice it's happening. That's why Masquerade is going to play very far forward here. Look for his opportunity. He looks for Wobby. Here's the focus, but a lovely Unstoppable coming in. Temporal Loop going to try and turn it as Breeze was slept during that fight. And the Expulsion Zone will shut this fight down, but here comes the Sound Barrier. They want to keep going.
That's a lot of R-bots that have just been pressed. And Sound Barrier is now also out, which is, of course, a great tool if you want to keep your everything alive here. They need to burn the halftime showdown real quickly before Chris does too much damage on the left side, and they do that now. But that is much closer than expected. 5,000 hit point difference between the two, but it's party time. Sound barrier is out. That's a big win. And you still have a taunt
Yeah.
available now, of course. But this is not going to be easy. Not at all. They still need that fight, and the lanes are pushing, especially the top lane, where we already see 2 catapults with the 3rd one income.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, better it is for the last dance here, because these catapults will continue to pressure. If they can hold at least one of the lanes as a distraction, they will eventually get that 4v5 that they're going to be looking for here. Double toss, though, from the Garrosh gets Raider, but the follow-up isn't there. Chris, temporal loop being dropped here as Garrosh is being slowly killed by the Raiders. Raiders, the first one to fall here as Dayquaza looks for the turnaround. Zarya is already finished off. Wave of Force does not knock Hasselworbs into the orb, and it's the retreat. 1-for-1. Neither team able to gain up the huge advantage here, but these catapults have to be cleared.
Yeah, Zarya is surviving for an insane amount of time, but the problem is really that the blue team is now going for the Immortal, and honestly, if they take this thing, then it's likely going to be game. And obviously, Oshtab knows that too. Catapults in core, no catapults in the core, it doesn't matter anymore. You have to go for it, you have to go for it right now. They're moving in, but you can see this thing is already incredibly low. If they just lock it in, that should pretty much be game here, and they will in just a moment. 390 HP.
It's alive!
For now. Could try and YOLO it, maybe a little bit of counter damage there. 49%.
It ain't happening.
And I don't think they're going to get it anytime soon.
Like you said, they have to get that kill. That kill is the only thing that they are going to be able to get this, because if they can get the kills, they have a chance to actually contest the objective and to kill it before it gets to their core. If they don't get the kill, then that objective is going to rush to core, they take the 5-man, and the race will lose. The 390 damage comes in. Now we see Nick clearing out the catapults. He's got to keep everything under control. They're going to try and race this as fast as possible. They're going to try and fight it outside of base, but here comes the last dance.
Yeah, this is more or less a checkmate position at this point. It's nearly impossible to hold this. With 49% on the core, yeah. If they had still a full core, then maybe. But here's the battle. They need to burn this down as quickly as they can, and at the same time also win the fight. I could have seen Last Dance go top, by the way. But here comes Whoopi again, coming in from the side. This time the Sleep Dart actually misses. They're trying to still lock that down. The Immortal alone, 25 minutes in. No, just no. It's... Yeah. I don't think this is manageable anymore. Down goes Garrosh. And there we go.
Yeah, Nick's trying to race it. Shield is down, but the shield on their core is about to go down. They're a member down. Nice dodge with the time stop by Hasu, but he's being focused here, and he will be taken out by Breeze. Catapults in the top lane, and that is it. Game number 1 goes over to the last dance with a very safe push.
Yeah, nicely done. Last Dance taking the lead here after they lost last week 3 games in a row. This time they actually take the advantage on the first map. Good job here. Really well done.
Yeah.
There was a couple of really close calls, and some of those fights went down to the wire where it could have completely flipped the other way. But that was pretty impressive, especially those last few battles there.
All right, looks like the teams have told us that they are ready to go. So we are very shortly going to be jumping into game number 2. This is a best of 5 series here in Method Mayhem. Remember, Tuesday is Heroes Night on Method, with Method Mayhem coming back next week as well with myself and Caldor, as the draft is going to get underway. Cursed Hollow is the map. Can the Last Dance extend their lead, or will Washed Up even up the score?
Well, let's go for it. All right. Cursed Hollow as map number 2. As we already said, that map is a map where in the past, Lost Vikings were actually highly impactful for Hazu. Now the hero has been buffed. Does that bring it back? Time will tell. I guess we can't hope for too much here. But even Abathur, of course, is still incredibly viable on the map if you want to play a global game against your opponent, or well, let's say a macro game. In regards to bans, we have ETC banned out, plus in addition to that, Ural, which is the spot where we've seen the space goat pretty much all day long. So yeah, the lead goes to the Last Dance. So this time they are actually the team that pulls ahead here. Can Washed Up bring it back and tie the series in this best of 5, or are we gonna see Last Dance extend that lead with a 2-0 and another victory on the second map?
There's the Rhaegar ban. Very standard stuff so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary. No Abathurs, no Vikings. Nothing too crazy there. It's going to be the Greymane. Everything is allowed through so far.
Yeah, Greymane also banned out. I mean, again, you have still a couple of heroes available that could do well around bosses. There's multiple ways on how to play this. You can either, of course, go for a bit more of a global setup. We've seen Chris play Forster now multiple times today. ETC was banned out, and this map has the opportunity to also go stage dive if you really want to control side lane with ETC and have a global available. Then boss control with Jimmy. Ooh, but first of all, we get Medivh. Okay.
It's a weird first pick, but so much potential for value here. But with Hasu hovering on that Medivh, there's a question of, do they need to ban the Vikings anymore, or is there someone else in that team who's got that sneaky Medivh play in?
I can honestly, I'm okay with the Medivh. It's fine. There's other heroes that we can still get. But talking about heroes, there's Wooby and Breeze on Diablo and Imperius again. They seem to like that combo. I mean, the amount of stuns and control that you get out of the two in those team fights is absolutely incredible. So Wooby looked great on that Imperius, as did Breeze, by the way, when they played him in the main tank position. So definitely a hero that both of them seem to enjoy.
Yeah. Here's where they throw us for a massive bamboozle and a massive inefficiency, and Wobby plays off-lane Diablo. And that's where they trick us. Sylvanas and Malfurion, very solid setups for the moment, completely ignoring their front line because, well, they can just wait. We might see one more ban if there's any tanks that we don't see the last chance want to play against. Maybe a Johanna, maybe a Garrosh. But right now, this is a very slow, much slower play for Washed Up, revealing their damage output very early.
Yeah. And they still have, of course, like at least one option there. Well, we're going to get their front line. But with Sylvanas, you also have a bit more pressure on structures, which is kind of nice. You take Garrosh away. I mean, there's still so many options on the front line, so no issue there. Good old kidnap combo. Just wait for it. Stitches is back to play. He wants some playtime, baby. Yeah,
did he get buffed? I don't remember. I can't.
So it's not about buff, no.
Oh.
It's like, but it would be. It's not about buff or no buff. It's just like Stitches with Medivh, you know, just Gorge Portal. But those times are kind of past. Tracer gets banned instead, so neither Poik or even Zalia. I mean, again, these days we don't see him on the DPS anymore. But yeah, Poik doesn't get to play Tracer over here. Try and lock that down.
But it looks Stitches did get buffed, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got a bit of a health buff, but nothing that is like in any way bringing him back or like giving him more utility than he had before. But it's also kind of interesting to me that he got a health buff from anything he was tanky before. It's like, that's not going to change anything, but yeah.
Alrighty, Lucio coming in here once again for Zalia. He really likes the hero, and for good reason. It's so good, especially with this lineup where Diablo and Imperius get so much more utility by being able to move so fast. And Poik with that Rainer once again, of course. This could be swapped to Chris, though.
Yeah, and with Jimmy, you have also, again, Exterminator as an option if you want to go for boss damage. Try to control the macro there. Dequaza with that thing, and we get Arthur's. Honestly, with the Medivh, I don't mind Arthur's too much because they're simply, again, in a situation where one of the biggest weaknesses of Arthur's, and that is like the ability to just close gaps this quickly, or mobility is mitigated by Medivh's portals. So that's a nice setup. Didn't expect it, but still. And here's the bird. Talked about it earlier.
Gust away everyone who isn't Deathwing, gives you good value, good counter for the portal style. I like it. I like it a lot. The question is, though, what style of play are we seeing? Now, this should almost certainly be a Army of the Dead for the Arthur, seeing as he is the solo tank here. But Syndragosa plus Cataclysm is a very fun combo that, with Sylvanas able to take the slow percentage damage on level 1, could allow her to absolutely wreck the two front lines.
Emphasis on fun.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say good. Until proved otherwise by the pros, I will not say good, but I will say fun.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's like I would bet a lot on Army. Let's put it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, it's an interesting setup for Washed Up. It's not quite what I expected here necessarily. I like the Medivh setup. I mean, Hazu again, obviously insane on this one. But Arthur's together with the portal, they could bring an interesting twist to this. I am a bit terrified by that front line from Last Dance, though. After game number 1 in particular, Imperius plus Diablo, the control between the two of them, especially after 16 and the reset on for the Shadow Charge is kind of nuts. So there's a lot that they can pull off with this, as we've just seen in the last game. And there's also, of course, a lot of corridors here where you can easily get double stuns. So Diablo is going to have some fun here, I would assume.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Diablo's going to have some fun. I think Chris is going to have some fun. Gusts on this map are very important. Could get some good plays. Also, we've already seen Chris do one of the classic Storm League plays, flying behind the enemy team and gusting them into his team. Maybe we'll see him do the other. Fly Mighty Gust boss steals. If we're going to go full memes, then he can do the classic Storm League plays.
If you're going to be honest, it wasn't quite a classic Storm League play. Like, he flew behind the target, gusted it in, they killed it, and he flew away. In Storm League, you fly behind the target and you die. So it's a little bit different. But that shouldn't distract us, because we're going to jump, of course, now into the game itself. We're going to find out if Chris can make that play again. Cursed Hollow is our map, as already mentioned, map number 2 in this particular Grand Final. So yeah, let's get this done. Grand Final, best of 5, map number 2, second map, Cursed Hollow. And in that particular lineup now, as we are heading in, we have on the left side, The Last Dance. We got Washed Up on the right, as both of the teams fight for the second point in this series.
We do actually see that overwhelming affliction I was talking about earlier. Even without the Syndragosa memes, we do still have the potential option for that percentage damage with just Arthas alone. So it's a sensible pickup here. That percentage damage versus Diablo and Imperius will be quite effective. Shadow Dagger already burned. Chris going to get some damage on the way through, but a tiny bit of tower damage already dropped.
All right, so with that, we got down to the bottom of the map. A little bit of a support plus damage dealer lineup. Top side, of course, the 1 versus 1, and still everybody going for rotation with Breeze waiting in the shadows to hope that he can get a kill. But so far, that's not the case.
Xaylia spots Masquerade hiding in the bush, unable to capitalize on it. Tried to auto-attack Masquerade. Masquerade has Rhyme, and therefore just absolutely tanked it.
Alright, camps are already getting taken. Yeah, I mean, this is the normal camp setup that you see, so it's always like the same. You have the first tribute on the top side spawning, which means that the siege giants for the blue team are not going to get a lot of value during the tribute. So they take it early instead, because they want to take their own bruiser camp later, so that they can time it a bit better with the objective. And on the other team side, we of course see the exact opposite. You know that you get mad value out of your siege giants as the objective is up and teams are fighting for the tribute. So you want to take that as late as you can, meaning at the 1 minute mark, you move over to your own bruiser camp, you take that, and then later on you take the siege giants. Obviously, that particular setup is a little bit mitigated by the fact that Chris plays Falstad, and therefore has a global, so he can, after he defends against the siege giants, bot lane still fly topside, and should be able to turn this into a 5 versus 5. Always assuming that both teams actually go for tribute number 1, which is not always given here on the map. But that's kind of the initial setup that we have with tribute number 1 and the mercenary camps that spawn at 1.
Yeah. I mean, that is the idea, like you said. Falstad will mitigate this a bit, but this is the main idea for this is due to the fact the first tribute spawns in top lane, meaning that bottom siege giants get significantly more value as the objective spawns due to everyone rotating up there. But with that Falstad, it's going to be counterplayed a little bit. We are seeing Raven Familiar and Portal Mastery on the side of the Medivh, already up to 5 stacks of Arcane Rift as well. And Arthas Masquerade, Frozen Waste, the standard level 4 talent, but he was a little slow in picking it. And as such, he missed out on over 10 stacks when he was being engaged on in that middle lane.
Yeah, so Xaylia is coming in. This is exactly what you would expect, right? So the Siege Giant camp is actually taken late. And the question with this is always, is maybe the camp taken early? And someone is just sitting there and trying to cap it. So what Xaylia does is kind of smart. He's just moving in and he double checks. And if there's only a single hero sitting, what he can do is simply try move in, boop the hero out, steal the camp away. Doesn't always work, but you can always check if you feel that you're not going to be caught, you're not going to be taken down. And Xaylia usually can do that. So it's one of those things that is kind of cool when it happens. In this case, he's just double checking it, but nicely done.
Honestly, he's in position for the push off. He could try. He might try. I mean, looking at who's doing it, he 100% could attempt the steal here. It'd be super risky, and he might die on the way out. But he is Lucio, and he is Zalia. He's just good enough and just crazy enough to try it.
I don't really think so. I'm pretty sure he's just going to fall back here. He's up against 2. That's not something that you necessarily want to risk here. No, but outside of that, the timing just like works. You know, it's like 7 seconds until the tribute spawns. We already have now Deathwing up at the top. In theory, Deathwing could also moved at some point down to the bottom to just like go into the Falstad lane. He's still in the position where he also can later on just interrupt over and over again. Any kind of tribute is one of the strengths on the map in general that you can play around. But so far, no kills, even experience for the teams. The mercenary camps taken at the normal time. So it's pretty much your standard setup that you want to use when you're going into a game on Cursed Hollow. And it should be a pretty interesting setup for objective number 1, because it's the first time that the teams are actually forced into a bit of a battle where they then have to decide, okay, how much are we committing here?
Yeah, we have to wait and see that. We're just waiting for one of the players to get back in. Like you said, 7 seconds till the objective starts. Falstad could still fly up as well. So no matter what Lucio's doing here, he's going to buy time for his team. So there is still options there. They can still look for turnaround plays. No, dude. This is going to be pretty This is going to be a pretty crazy game already, and it's already fun with, as we already mentioned, Zalia being nice and cheeky with the different camp rotations. I don't know, dude. I still think Zalia's going to steal it.
I mean, I'm going to bet you that he doesn't.
Okay, let's do it. $5 to cure for rare diseases if Zalia steals it.
Okay.
All right, so if he doesn't steal it, I will put in $5 for the charity. Let's see.
All right,
we'll have to...
It's the easiest money those kids ever made.
Oh dear. In the meantime, we're still waiting for everyone to get back underway so we can jump back in, which is apparently now. It looks like we're about ready to head back in. Feels good.
All right, let's go. Those kids want their money.
Let's see. Zalia.
Oh my god, he walked away.
Zalia, no.
Shocking.
All right. I don't actually mind that much. It's money for charity, so it's worth it anyway. Zalia going to move up to the top lane, and they're still going to try and contest the tribute.
All right. So, Wooby, trying to get this first. He's up against everyone. Oh god, Quasar. He's playing the chicken skin on Deathwing. That's a chicken right there. Unfortunate.
He will live.
The question is now, who's the real chicken? Falstad or Deathwing at this point? With that skin, I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, Deathwing's the raw chicken, and Falstad is the still living chicken. So there it is.
All right, I go for
There's
that.
the difference.
That's a big oven that you need in order to like make that a crispy chicken, though.
Oh yeah, you need like a Dutch oven at minimum. Gotta get some extra protection there. And speaking of protection, Masquerade needs some because Zalia is being an absolute jerk and interrupting him every single time.
Alright, so Zalia is just like rushing around, making making that as annoying as possible. Obviously, Banana Age is hoping that he has a bit of a chance to maybe lock him down with a quick root. Hasn't really played out thus far, but yeah, bot lane. The good thing for them is the more they stall this out, the more value Falstad get, right? So that's also why they have a half-level leader.
Alright, he's still being interrupted. Finally, Banana Rage is going to try and channel it here, but it's still Zalia. He's still annoying. Medivh even drops a portal. See if he can come in and help out in a moment. But right now, this is just bullying.
Yeah, they can't play this style. Now, we finally see a bit of a reaction out of Washed Up because Falstad has just been rotating between lanes. You can't just like sit there and hope that you get the tribute and not do anything about that. Medivh is the one who now moved down to the bottom of the map and said like, alright, I'm gonna match the Falstad rotation. Because if they don't do that, then they're just gonna fall farther and farther behind the experience without the blue team even having to do anything.
Alrighty, we continue to see the delay. Deathwing actually takes a little bit of damage. Poik even more so, but both of them are fine. Wobby even tries to channel, forcing Dequaza to roll back in and deny it. Moves in, Wubby, little low, and heal Cataclysm for the kill attempt! And Sylvanas is gonna finish the job, and that's the dive they were looking for. Finally picking up the kills, and finally getting the tribute.
Yeah, so they get 2 kills out of this. They get the tribute. That brings them also back in experience. And they have Sylvanas! And that immediately leads to the top wall getting destroyed. It's additional value for Washed Up, not only grabbing the kills and the objective, but also starting to work on the fort itself. That was not really worth it. For last dance, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Last dance going to be needed to turn that round on the next objective. As level 10 is hit about the same time for both teams. Portal was attempted to try and catch Diablo there, no such luck. And interesting, look at this level look at this level 10 from Deathwing. He's gone for Burn Beneath My Shadow, going for the reset and that 80% periodic damage increase.
Yeah. Good setup there as well, from particularly, we talked about this earlier, but yeah, Arthur's actually going straight in for the army. Falstad with a bit of a fly-in. A little bit of a sneaky one over here, or at least the attempt of it. Joining up with the rest of the team too. We're sitting at 22 stacks already. That's where the rotation pays off for him personally. Oh, the kill against Lucio with the Sylvanas arrow. Nicely done. Great job here. Nick just beasting it in this game.
I like that both teams respected the 1v1 and just let that play out, but nicely done by Nick, picking up the kill and Washed Up. Really looking good in this game. They get their second tribute, they push in bot lane, and they're about to blast their way through this fort, through at least the front wall. Only Diablo coming down, making this a 3v3, so they could try and go further, but it looks like they might let this go. Medivh has abandoned the team. He had a portal nearby, but he's going to let it go. Oh, there we go. Comes back, drops the portal for the team.
It's getting dangerous, though. The only reason why the blue team isn't using more infrastructure is simply that, I mean, the death timers are too low. Once they're a little bit higher, if we have a similar situation, Washed Up is simply going to start walking forts down, and it's rough. Yeah, here's Medivh also doing what it does best, cheating. Providing vision on what's going on down here, so this is going to be a bit of an invade that we have.
Yeah, Chris is still here though. He has Gust if there is the invade attempt. Leyline, Gust, both steal attempts, and Chris comes out on top with that. They kill off Medivh, rip stacks, and Sound Barrier for good measure, but the Twilight Dream stops nothing. Masquerade though is in there. He is trying to drop them here, but finally he's the Impale and will finally die. But Dayquaza gets a counter kill, making that a 3-for-1. 4-for-1 if Dayquaza can't get out of there. No, he has Cataclysm, chooses to save it, not going to try and use it for the escape.
Talk about backfiring. Wow. They invade, get absolutely murdered, lose 4, lose the stacks on Medivh. Now Nick is going to die. As no... Oh, actually... Nah, doesn't get the portal. Nick is dead too. So they lost the boss, they lost 5 heroes, they lost the stacks on Medivh. Now they're going to lose the fort. Holy hell.
Yeah, this is the biggest turnaround we've seen in quite a while. Zalia scoots by, just saying hi to the fort. Diablo gets rooted. Not ideal here, but Breeze can still try to turn that round. Force of Will shuts it down, though. Meantime, Falstad, he's just chilling out in the bot lane. He's cleaned that out, and he's just going to port back to get some mana.
Yeah, this was pretty much just like Washed Up coming in, trying to hit someone with a fist. The guy dodges, they hit the wall, the fist hurts, and then they get kicked in the balls. That's pretty much what's just happened there. I mean, holy hell. That couldn't have gone any worse, to be honest with you. So
they're not out of it yet, though. They're still even on talents. Their boss is still available, and they're still only 1 tribute away from a curse. This is absolutely still in the cards for Washed Up to go ahead and get a snowball victory.
Oh, yeah, of course, but still, that, like, something like this can't happen here again. So now the question is simply, with all the newfound momentum, what can Last Dance do here? Because now they are looking for tribute number 2. Of course, if it's taken by Washed Up, then it's going to be a counter kill. Dayquaza nearly dying for that interrupt. The Raider was about to take that one on, but whew, what a setup here.
Portal's down. Deathwing's currently in the sky, so he's healing up. Masquerade getting just absolutely hard engaged on everyone is here. Leyline, though. Masquerade, he's ghouling up. He's ghouling up. He's going to tag through it. And they hold. Deathwing's still here. They're going to be able to interrupt again. I'm amazed they're still in that.
Yeah, me too. But again, I'm a little bit worried because the whole momentum was swinging in Washed Up's favor thanks to Sylvanas and the pressure that they got from every single kill. Now it's the opposite, and they are in so much trouble. I mean, that Diablo and Imperius setup we talked about during the draft is now just coming absolutely through here. Bubi's a bit low in mana, but it doesn't even matter because they still get it, so there's 2 tributes to 2. They're still ahead in experience, and they are looking solid right now.
They really are. They're putting on the damage output here, and it's making it much harder for Washed Up to really take position. They're going to start their boss, but guess who's going to see it? Here comes Zalia. And with that, the rest of the team also knows. Falstad, he does have Fly. Can Zalia force the leash on this? Yes, he can. They portal looking for the kill, but it's not the full leash. It only went back to base. If it gets at least one more time, though, it will heal up to full. They can't afford to lose vision of this.
Yeah, bot lane, Falstad is starting to go
He's
in,
coming.
and they actually let this go. There's the full leash. Time wasted. Time that Falstad used to get them level 16.
Yeah, Falstad did fly up though, which means he's not currently soaking. But they're still going to be forced to back up. Masquerade actually demounted while hiding around the corner due to the reverse amp of Zalia over the wall, so that's going to be incredibly annoying for him. And Washed Up, man, they're getting outplayed at almost every turn. Everything they're trying to do is getting pushed back and shut down. Quasar gets dropped again, and this time sniped by the Reyna.
Yeah, again,
Nick, no.
They had all the momentum and then they just lost it. Now we just see them on a killing spree. Quest is completed.
Oh!
The rotation. Leyline. But look at Sylvanas. She is dead. Nick is down, and that's an easy boss. They just get pummeled in the ground at this point. The level 16 talent advantage, of course, is just great. They play to those strengths, and yeah, they will also hit the curse now. So,
Nick just got absolutely bodied, dude. Like you said, they're going to get the curse, but Nick tried to take the portal left for him by Medivh. He had Force of Will, portal was there, and then Falstad gusted Nick into the boss stun. So Nick get locked down, and Reyna just picked him off with the autos. It is the biggest outplay I've seen, and he's got to feel bad about that as we see the push into this top lane. They're looking for their first keep of the game.
Yeah, indeed they are. And all the forts are already gone. Keep will fall one way or another. The boss obviously is moving to the top now too. 16 versus 16, so that's at least something. But here comes another play. Wall stun. They're trying to go for the kill. The shield is already out. Quest is completed for Arthas, but the Gust is also coming through as they're pushing them away from the keep. And that boss is actually going to go for core here. They might even get a bit of damage on the core itself. Theoretically, I mean, they don't have Gust anymore. If for that, I could have totally seen them try and end it. If they can get the kill here. Hello, team?
Force of Will, Leyline Seal, and that will save Masquerade and potentially the game here. Quasar's taking a lot of damage though. Boss stun! No, Elementium Plating keeps him alive, but it's picked off so quickly. And now Dexberg has no help. It's basically a 4v5 now as they rush for a core, Kaldor.
They go for the core, and honestly, they're gonna end it. They're gonna end the game.
They got it!
Lead. That is the last dance, taking the game, extending the lead, and winning game number 2 in the best of 5.
Wow. Last dance, they're not messing around here. Picking up a 2-0 in this best of 5, one game away from taking the series in what was a superb final push. They didn't get the Arthas, but they weakened Deathwing so much that he was just out of that fight. And once that became a 4v5 and boss at full health, they just rushed the core.
That's the big question. But we're heading into the draft. We're going to find out right now, as entering game number 3, if this is going to be the last map. Draft is starting up, and with that, we're heading straight into Infernal Shrines. Find out which team gets the lead in this. On the left, the Last Dance, and on the right, Washed Up. And it's time for the bans. And Tetra, I have one question. Diablo, ban him, pick him, or just let Breeze wreck you again?
Well, if the past is anything to go by, I wouldn't be surprised if he is ignored by both teams, and we see a Johanna come in for the Last Dance, as they have picked this pretty consistently as their opener in every single game played on this map so far, and they've been second every single time, so I wouldn't be surprised they either ignore it or ban it.
All right, let's see what goes on with this. First of all, of course, the question, are we going to see heroes like Ana and Urel make it through? They've been banned consistently. most of these games. First ban coming out on washed up side. ETC gets first of all removed. Again, Breeze on the other hand makes a lot of sense. There's the URL ban. And this is most of the moment of truth right now. Of course, we have first pick also for washed up, so they could always take something away too if they really feel that it's too much of an issue.
Alrighty, so second ban for washed up here. Like you said, do they maybe ban that Diablo? Do they ban Johanna? They ban Rhaegar, removing that potential Bloodlust composition that has just been so strong throughout the tournament. It's a very standard ban these days. Now, the last dance, though, washed up. They've been playing some very... We do know they have some sneaks here, like perhaps the Sergeant Hammer, that might warrant a ban on the last dance.
That's actually something that we haven't really seen the entire time, but you're absolutely right. Hammer has been played by Hazu quite a few times. Now we get Tacita banned out again. Nick hasn't played it once, but he also doesn't want anybody else to play it right now. There's the Grey Main lock in very, very early already. Okay, yeah. Grey Main for Nick, and well, let's go.
Yeah.
What's the
Leo Jojo would be my prediction, because they've been consistent.
I would honestly have expected to at least see one of them banned out, if not take it away. But now that both are open, if you're prioritizing the wave clear again that you did previously, why not? So there's a Leoric pick, and Johanna would definitely not be a bad follow-up on it, despite the fact that we, of course, still have other options, like Imperious main tank, like Diablo. So
yeah, Anna slipping through the draft this time. So instead, and for one of the first ever times, Banana H not picking up the Ana, so it's stolen away by Zalia, who we know is terrifying on this. So now we might have to see just Li Ming or Kael'thas or similar heroes stolen away by Washed Up just to prevent that combo from happening. Okay. Deckard Cain, Malthael here, so they've got themselves another percentage damage offlaner, and Deckard Cain... little bit of siege damage, a little bit of poke, burst damage for that Grey Main. Burst healing for that Grey Main. Okay.
I mean, that Malthael also makes it now a little bit less likely that we're going to have something along the lines of Diablo in this game.
Yep, that's true. Very fair point. Diablo could still come in, but like you said, it's a little bit less likely now due to that. We're going to find out soon, though. As right now, we're going to be ready to jump back in with the redraft very shortly. So, with the Malthael Deckard, they still need some tankiness of their own. And so far, with Garrosh removed, ETC removed, those numbers are going down. They could maybe pick up Johanna for themselves on the side of Washed Up. We are $65, ladies and gentlemen, from 2,500. That goal we're looking for cure rare diseases. We're so close right now. You've all done an amazing job. Keep it going. I love you all. You're doing so much good here for a great charity. Keep up the good work. I could not thank you enough, so I'll just do it one more time before I start to bother you. Thank you very much.
All right. Interesting things are happening here. I'm confused. All right, so we're going to go back into the draft pattern, and I'm going to see what's going to happen with that. But yeah, the Malthael pick, that will definitely... I mean, it should honestly dissuade Breeze from going for Diablo. At least he would assume so.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit more likely that we might have the Johanna in play then. We can, with the Iron Skin, do a lot around that. So... it should have an impact on the front line for him, sure, because I think up to this point he was really thinking of just simply going into Diablo again, which is one of the reasons why it didn't pick Jojo in the first place. But yeah.
Alright, through the bans. We're just going to drag to exactly where we were, ladies and gentlemen, and to get back to get into the draft from where we left off. Leoric, of course, we already saw that Ana Leoric. Now they're good. Where we were, a ban or two. I don't know why, but my brain just screamed at me, Nano Boost March of the Black King, even though I know that's just not a thing that's gonna happen. Brain just screamed it in my...
Yeah. Nano Boost Black. Oh my god.
I mean, if you want to go next level, Nano Boost Buried Alive. Critical damage 62 damage per tick or whatever it is.
I can't believe that you just went for nano boost March. Like, March alone is already such a meme that it hurts my brain every single time that I see it. And then also stacking the nano on top of it. It's like, what the hell? Oh
I know. Sometimes my brain just yells things in the rest of my body that aren't smart. And sometimes they come out my mouth. As we see Jada banned out. Very
So,
solid.
Your brain has stupid ideas, Tourette's?
If that's what you want to call it, I'm just going to say I'm not smart sometimes.
I don't know that.
After you, sorry.
No, it's like it's like the variation of I think Tosh had this one bit where he said like about nice people's Tourette's when you just randomly yell nice things and your brain has a way you just like get weird ideas. Like it's a different variation of it. It's like forget that I talked. Diablo is there anyways. They pick Medivh together with it and that solves the Malthael problem.
Oh. So, like, the Medivh Smart gonna block strikes, but the Diablo is still focused here. Here's Junkrat, and as I called before, the reset, Johanna coming in, and Junkrat's a good combine with that Johanna. Lots of AoE dash set up for that Grey main, and can just finishing up blows. Final pick, though, we really need a damage dealer that isn't Medivh on the last dance. Who is it gonna be?
Yeah, final pick, I mean, Chris. We're gonna see Falstad again.
Falstad.
No, I think this time it's gonna be a different hero. They actually go for Li Ming, so they have a nano boosted Li Ming setup, which is kind of interesting because in Infernal you normally don't see it too much, but the entire lineup that they're running here is obviously very, very different. Because again, you have that Diablo set up together with Medivh that alone already helps you to counteract Malthael a bit. You can portal him in. You have also Li Ming can just shell out from outside. It's going to be a little more tricky to really get her to a full damage when you are looking at the shrines themselves. But we've seen her in the past here. She is not a regular pick for sure, just simply because of the nature of the objective, but she can be played here.
And the idea of this composition, as you mentioned, because the nature of the objective, Li Ming isn't as expected. The idea of this is Portal Diablo engages, and Li Ming is here for one job and one job only, and that's to kill the person Diablo hits. And that's what we're going to be seeing here. Chris following up on Breeze and trying to finish the job. And the fact is, that Deckard, Grey Main, and Malthael are vulnerable to this.
I would have honestly really liked to see Nick on a Carrigan here. That would have been kind of fun to see at least at one point in this. But, well, that's not quite what we're going to get here. We have our setup set, though. And, well, apparently one of the players, as we just heard, has a couple of technical issues at this point. So we're actually going to head into a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen, to give him a little bit of time to fix it. I mean, obviously, there's quite a bit of a line. This is potentially even the last map, so we want to make sure that everything is just Gucci for us to continue with the series. So 5 minutes. We're going to be back after a short break. In the meantime, make sure that you check out !charity. Keep in mind, you can still contribute to a good cause here while we're waiting for the players to get ready for the third map in the best of 5 series of the Grand Finals. So see you guys in just a few.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Hopefully, we'll be getting underway. It's game number 3 of the Grand Finals.
And we're jumping in. We have our third map here. And we also come back from one of the more interesting technical difficulties that I've so far experienced in my esports career. Apparently, one of the players has lost his contact lens and you need to find it. So that was a new one. Didn't hear that before. It was good.
He can't see. That's a good reason, would argue.
Yeah, technically that's actually something that works. That's a good reason why you need a break and need to go for the game. That's why you also have a spare contact lens, by the way. Just pro tip over here. Or why you get LASIK, like one of the two.
Alrighty, well, we're underway, ladies and gentlemen. Portal already used. No chance of diving in there. Unable to get any quick picks there, as they were attempting to do with Breeze.
I mean, early game already. It will really hinge heavily on Poik with his Medivh setup. If Poik plays this well, then he can deny a lot of the potential last rights value that we might see out of Malthael. And they have so much that they can do here. A good shield can just save the day, as we just see now, as Breeze is getting attacked since he doesn't have any soul stacks yet.
He will survive this time, though. He's gone for Devil's Due this time. I'm pretty sure Breeze has now played every single Diablo level 1 talent so far, but he's able to back away this time. Zalia also took a little bit of damage. Poig currently trying to use Masquerade for stacks, unable to land that last one, but he did get 5.
Yeah, top side our 1 versus 1, whereas down here, of course, we have Banana H, a little snowflake with the old man. Just starting to hit the camp with a stick, but I actually think that... I mean, again, Poig, that's what we need. Is he nervous? That's the big question, you know? Can they make the play now with him? Because if he plays well, then I think it's going to be a really rough battle for Watchdog.
Nick blasting his way through the mercenary camp, putting on some extra pressure. And they will grab that, and using that Junkrat mine, they get vision, so the Fountain will start to take damage.
But they won't be able to finish it like this. They have to do a little bit more if they really want to. Alright, so Breeze is actually saving that very, very quickly for the team by just pushing those Kazuras out, so that's already a really nice first step. Objective isn't really up yet, but the first one is already going to tell you us a little bit on how it's going to go. Nico, of course, great on taking the camps here too, is one of the beautiful things when you have Greymane. It's not only the wave play, you have an enormous amount of camp clear so that you can take mercenaries all day or take down structures if you're able to jump onto walking from them.
Triumvirate for that Li Ming. We also have Junkrat, by the way, differentiating from the usual talents we've seen so far with Boom Pow. Getting that cooldown reduction if he hits an enemy with that concussion mine. Really gives him area control.
Yeah, kept throwing shade at this point then.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's see how where we're going with that. But for now, we still have the first objective starting to spawn up topside. And a couple of stacks together already for Poig. He's sitting at 12, so not really too insane just yet, but already a pretty good start for him to start with at least a couple of stacks as he goes into the first big team fight. That's obviously expected to rise pretty quickly. And once completed, he can play a little bit more aggressive and doesn't have to try and save, you know, that shield for himself more so than for anybody else.
See, Mercenaries being focused down, Fallen Shaman's grabbed by both teams. Masquerade will get zoned away quite a bit, but no huge bursts. He's just more stacks for now. 15 for Medivh, getting closer. Needs to try and not get picked off at one of these objectives, because once you stack, you're all good.
Greymane is still at the bottom. Leo is starting to rotate slowly in. You have, of course, with Junkrat, a good hero to get the stacks out also from the outside. Li Ming with a little bit more poke, as Chris is also starting to move in. The level 7 is going to help him, obviously, immensely once they're able to lock that down, so that he can get more damage out very, very quickly here, because that's exactly what they need, a little bit more close quarter damage to Calamity, so they can go for the hero's whack-a-mole over here. 31 against 5 stacks. I mean, it's a pretty big lead for Washed Up, so it would be more than a little bit shocking if they would still lose this one.
Masquerade takes a lot of damage, but tanks it through. Like you said, Washed Up, take the objective. Also, just looking at these talents here, this is not out of the question to maybe see this as being a Tormented Souls game for the Malthael, due to the fact he's gone for the Massacre and the Throwing Shade.
Yeah, definitely. Again, most of the time when I actually see it, it is with Ana, not against it. The problem is if you use it against stuns, you are oftentimes in trouble. Well, talking about stuns, for now we actually see them still playing around the portal. That was already a bit of a slow and breeze. The entire wall has fallen. It's level 8 versus level 8. Again, there's not a single kill just yet, so we don't really see a lot of teamfight action. It would give us a bit of an idea of how they're going to control this. But we have 21 stacks together for Medivh, so he is nearly halfway. He is halfway done with his baseline quest, so that's already important. Hazu, for example, when they played Medivh first Hollow, never completed a quest, and he was killed during the boss fight.
Very true. So, Mercenaries being picked up. Sleep Dart on Johanna, who even takes percentage damage from the Ana there. That will force Masquerade back. Breeze around the side. This is a full team in engage here. Masquerade going to move in. Charge from Breeze. Doesn't land the stun, though. Wobby trying to delay, but this camp will be stolen. Wobby, Concussion Mind gets him out of there, but means he will survive too.
And they're trying again for the camp. And this time, Junkrat is chipping in as well. Shield is already down. Sorry, not the camp, the fountain. So that one is likely gonna fall. And yep, that's the end of it. No more sustain in the middle of the map. There's a lot of pressure now on Last Dance. I mean, a lot. That level 10 is just around the corner. Once you have it, you can simply push a structure or two down. So an early level 10 lead can be absolutely gigantic if you just follow quickly up with that kill.
Level 10's available for Washed Up here, a little bit further ahead. Cursed Bullet, there is that Tormented Souls. We are seeing the Blessed Shield, the Stay a While and Listen, and of course the Riptide. So very much an AoE focus this time, going for full team fights, trying to prevent the single target protection that Poik is giving out from getting too much value here by spreading out that damage.
Yeah, and look how aggressive they are immediately with the level 10. Even allowing Nick to go into Worgen form just to get more damage into that bottom fort, and they chop it down to less than 50% HP. So nicely done, really capitalizing on that early level 10. And then also falling back just before the opponent gets heroic abilities. There's the leyline setup on the other hand. Leyline into APOC, and the setup doesn't work at all. That did not hit anything.
Nothing hit the mark there, no value on the other side though. Blessed Shield was used and sidestepped by Breeze, so a heroic was traded out here, but that's 70 seconds for the Apocalypse, 55 for the Leyline. They've got plenty of time to wait before they'll be available, and the objective will be up in 20 seconds.
Yeah, and having a good stun available when any kind of combo is getting executed is of course fantastic. It's the same thing when you had back in the day the Void Prison into Ring of Frost. If you're just able to stun one of the two out, then you're always in a great spot. So if Johanna can make the same play here when the ley line comes out, it's great for her as well. So there's quite a few tools on the other side that can deal with this. I mean, it's not the only thing that your entire play hinges on, right? So having a ley line into an APOC is amazing, but it's not like without it you don't have any tools that you can bring to the table. Fact remains that they are falling behind on objective number 2 again, and it doesn't seem like Just Dance is going to make a serious effort to win this one.
In this case, you are correct. They are holding quite far back. They may go in for one more burst, try and kill attempt. With 14 seconds left on APOC though, they might just not have enough time. Leyline just came off cooldown, but 35 stacks. Looks like the objective is already complete, and the engage opportunity window has closed.
Yeah, now we also got 32 stacks for Medivh, and that alone brings him extremely close to completion. So with that in mind, once that he's done, they will probably play this a little bit safer just to allow him to finish this off before they make any big moves here. And for the next objective, you should definitely try it. So that's good.
Focus onto the Punisher. It will, with that frozen ability, finish off the fort. First fort of the game going over to Washed Up here. With bot lane already looking a little weaker though, they might be able to pick up the second tier. Punisher disabling the towers, so they can't just leave that. They actually have to send Chris down to deal with it.
And it already feels a little bit snowbally. Then again, we saw Team Quacknix earlier today in a much worse situation, and then they still won it. So in regards to experience, they're still incredibly close. And let's face it, we are 9 minutes into this game, we haven't seen a kill yet. So both teams playing it safe, waiting for an opportunity, and both haven't really found one yet. We have a few small skirmishes, but no real big team fights just yet, and definitely not the fireworks that we are expecting out of this.
Mercenaries being cleaned up in the bot lane for some extra pressure onto the already weakened fort. Junkrat, as you can see, full mine build here, bogged down, and now, of course, finally, for the first time today, Ripper Air coming in. Junkrat with that mobility now.
Yeah, Poik gets attacked. Poik, careful, bro. There's the portal. The ley line comes out as well. Doesn't hit anything. The zoning ley line. Tries to take the portal again and just barely gets out. He's 3 stacks away from completing the quest. This is the last time where you want to die. Yeah, Breeze comes in, says like, I don't need a ley line, I can hit that myself. There's the quest completed, that's already a sigh of relief that Poik can now breathe. And their shields are in as they have the portal, sorry, the Entomb coming in, but Masquerade, not really impressed by this, and the fort is there.
Yeah. Heroics traded back and forth, and neither one able to find a kill. Immediately Junkrat, Hasselhoff starts to rotate away. He's done here, but both teams, neither one able to find the eventual kill. That's the next objective, still quite a bit away. Everyone's just trying to soak up with even talents. Just trying to race towards that level 60.
It's kind of interesting if you think about the situation that we're in. We're 10.5 minutes into the game. We haven't seen a single kill, but 2 forts are down. And then the third one has lost the wall already. Here comes again the portal. They go for Breeze. Is that our first kill? It should be, and it is. Breeze down.
Full Souls, he will return to base here. Like I said, good pickup. Using the root in the same way you use a Malfury root to counter a portal, timing it perfectly with Banana Rage on that Decade Cane, preventing the escape of Breeze. Nicely done, and he is soulless.
It's a little bit harsh.
He has no souls! Plural!
You know, what a difference a contact lens makes.
It was me all along.
They should have switched it before the first game. But that's just me. Like, I don't know. This is my personal opinion. But yeah, 1 kill against 0, level ahead, 16 talents on the board, big lead, and Shrine activating now too. So this time it's the bot lane, but there's obviously no fountain anymore for the blue team, which gives the red team even more of an advantage as we're heading into this.
We see the mortality, 8% hero max health on that Wraith Strike from the Malthael. Really good dive for that Diablo, who again is already squishier than he usually would be. And Scroll of Stone Curse coming in for that Decade Cane, so they have even more damage. They can catch people out now.
Yeah, and they're not going to go for the objective because they don't have level 16 talents yet, so instead they took their own camp. They're rotating a little bit, but there's not really too much happening. They're just saying, okay, let's give them another objective. We can't really do anything about it. We're getting a bit snowballed here. Let's defend with level 16 talents and try our best to hold the keep. And then we need to force a few team fights around that with even talents and yeah, turn the game around because they're not really going to get too many opportunities anymore.
Push coming into the bot lane. Wubby going to port all the way back. Make sure he's here for this defense. So it is a 5-man. Mid lane pushing up though. Double camp. It's going to keep the pressure on. So they will have to react to that in a little bit. Here comes the Punisher over the wall. Nice use of the Force of Will. But Breeze over the side. He's tanking. But Portal's out this time.
Yeah, gets the portal, moves back out. The wall is nearly done. 50% HP on the Punisher. Top fort has gone down and the Fountain gets eliminated now too. Shaman is doing some serious work and will push this further towards the keep itself. In the mid lane, there's 6 Khazras taking the wall down. Down here on the other hand, and Tomb Breeze with the combo. They're trying to go for the APOC. They're setting it up, but Breeze himself is in trouble. Leyline might just have saved him here, but Ana is down already. The Punisher is jumping in for the kill, and Breeze dies too. That's 2 down, and everybody else is already on the run. It seems like keep number 1 is going to fall 30 minutes into the game.
With 30 seconds, 40-second cooldowns, with Greymane on the board, this isn't out of the question that they go for core. They have Greymane, but the problem is the defense is Li Ming, and that's where this might be shut down here. It's only going to take 1 kill from Li Ming to shut this down and turn the snowball in favor of the Last Dance, and as such, Washed Up to make the sensible decision to leave.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough setup now for the blue team. They lose the bottom keep, they lose the wall in the middle to the catapult and those Khazras that we had. I mean, have fun coming back in this. This is not going to be easy by any means. There's obviously a bit of damage that was still done by the Shaman camp that we highlighted at the top side, but this is just a disastrous situation. They never really had a chance to fight. You know, there was not really any opportunity where it was like, okay, let's go into this team fight. Let's try and set this up. They attempted twice to force a bit of battle around an apocalypse setup, and it didn't really work. So they just can't find a proper opening into this, it seems.
We're seeing a setup already in position. Banana H in the bush. Gonna back away, not taking the risk, just plays a bit further back, same with Masquerade. Now once again, Wubby isn't here. They try to sleep dart Masquerade. Looking for the kill, they're gonna try and kill Johanna, but they pay the Iron Skin, that's value.
Yeah, at this point 4 kills against 1 in total. Iron Skin is out, but again, that's gonna be back soon TM, so now next objective in the middle of the map. Same play as before. You don't have a fountain there. You don't have a sustain. You can't just move back, tap of mana, or maybe even pre-tap. And are they really going to get level 20 by the time that this thing is up? They could, but it could be pretty close.
Shots continuing to come in for Chris, bullying away at these front walls. This is where the next objective will spawn. Chris is running for his life here because Masquerade relentlessly pursued him for quite a ways there. But Masquerade just made room for Washed Up to grab themselves another Merc camp.
Yeah, we'll be down at the bottom of the map. Again, it's even fights that they really need. 20 talents are in. Hana's blunderbuss, no one can stop death. They get a bit of damage onto Whoopi. Of course, he's able to ghost out. But this is an entire level you gotta soak, and you gotta soak it quickly. Once that objective is announced. There it is, 30 seconds. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
It's going to be a bad time. Diablo's desperately trying to soak top lane. Here comes the move in. Medivh sees this, and immediately Diablo pulls back behind the wall. Not going to take the risk here, so they notice it's happening. Sleep Dart not finding any targets. The camp is just stolen away. Double camps in the mid lane that Li Ming is currently dealing with, but Leoric has been left alone in bot lane, so he might actually be able to soak them towards that level 20 a little bit quicker. As long as he doesn't get burst down, another minion wave on the way, and this will help them out.
Yeah, half a level. Oh, Deebles is doing, like Leo is doing what he can down here, and they're getting closer and closer to it, but we already are at 17 stacks for the red team. And the only thing that they can really do is try to get the 20, get the Medivh cheats out, hit all 5, get the A-poke in, and make your play, but holy hell is that going to be nuts. I mean, theoretically they can defend against another Punisher, right? They just need to get some kills with it, but wow.
So they might try and fight it past the Punisher. Masquerade will spot Breeze. Okay, adjust that down. We have the Hellgate, we have Nano Infusion. You called it the Medivh cheats. Buried Alive and Repulsion. Buried Alive, especially, and Medivh cheats. These are the talents that can turn the game in their favor. Breeze moving out. They're going to try and fight behind the Punisher. Wraithwalk comes in. They're looking for the kill. Medivh cheats, trying to separate out the team, but he hits no one. Nice cleanse from the self-cleanse. Entomb splits the team in two, but out of range. But Nick's able to escape. The Sleep gonna try and shut them down here. Nano Boost coming out, but Chris cannot land the shots, and he in fact might be in danger here. He's been completely isolated.
Yeah, and the keep is down. I mean, they hit nothing here. They absolutely hit nothing. It was a last-ditch attempt. Breeze trying what he can, but even that backfires, and he himself is now going to fall. This has to be lights out. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
The kills don't even tell the story here. It's only 5 against 1, but that's the first point on the board. 4 washed up. That was just dominance over here. For a long time, we didn't even see a kill, but we saw one fort fall after another. And in that last fight, it was a final attempt of Last Dance to set a proper battle up, and they just couldn't. They didn't hit any of their important abilities. And now this is going to be the point on the board. 4 washed up as the red team on Infernal Shrines takes the victory against Last Dance. GG.
We have a series on our hands. It is now 2-1 in this best of 5, and Washed Up, they are now poised to try the reverse sweep and reclaim their championship from last week. It's possible. It's doable now for them. Game number 4 of our grand finals. And first pick goes over to Last Dance. I mean, if we want it to be appropriate, then maybe ETC is the option, because the Last Dance could be the last map of the series.
Yeah, could definitely be. I mean, again, for it's just like match point after match point after match point, right? You take the initial 2-0 and you're in a fantastic spot. Of course, it can backfire a little bit if you're forced into the 5th map, because all of a sudden you're standing there and you're just like, now we lost 2 in a row, and now the pressure's on us. I don't like it. And at some point, you know, your brain starts playing tricks at you, unless you have nerves or steel. So Greymane gets banned. That's one ban against Nick that is definitely justified, but again, you're on 2 of the Spider Queen, so if I hope they know that this is Nick's Carrigan map.
Yeah. Well, if not, they'll find out in the most violent possible way, as we are going to see Tassadar banned out by Washed Up as their first starting ban. ETC still available. There's a lot of good options here. What are we going to see? Second ban. So far, it's been pretty consistently Ural from the side of the Last Dance.
I mean, you could also ban Ana again. Even Johanna would be a decent ban on this map, because she just excels so much at the rotation between lanes here. So I wouldn't mind that either. Even ETC has been banned so consistently. That's another one. Junkrat also. It's honestly, you have like at least, I want to say, like 10 heroes that you just want to get rid of if you're just sitting there. It's like, yeah, there's this guy and this guy and this guy. We know he plays that too, so it's like, yeah, what do you ban? Pick a poison.
That's a fair point. Now, final ban out for Washed Up here. Do they focus on the tanks, on the supports? Ana and Rhaegar still available as well. So many high priority heroes. They remove Medivh. Yep, that's fair enough. It wasn't as successful as I expect was hoped in the last game, but this is a very much smaller map, and it still has that wildcard potential. And there it is! Wobby gets to play URL today.
Yeah, Medivh, so far he didn't have a good day. Bird Boy is 0-2. So, yeah, not his day so far. Okay, so let's go. We got Wubi and URL. That already is a little bit terrifying, but what do they open up with? Washed up, that is. Also, URL herself can actually really start to destroy also some Kerrigan plays if Kerrigan at any point is being picked here, but instead we're gonna see the old man and Johanna. Okay, so a hero that we could have seen banned out, or well, potentially. And together with that, we get Deckard Kane.
Now, there's still potential for the Kerrigan here, especially with Deckard's newly buffed Ruby. Could try and sneak that in and give Kerrigan some dive protection. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now on the side of Last Dance.
And Jaina.
Anna Jaina got themselves some burst. Trying to burst through the fact that Deckard now is going to have to play very far back. With all that AoE, might have a little bit of trouble with all of this.
I mean,
however, this probably should now be, in terms of damage follow-up, I guess this is... Actually, I don't know. There's 3 tanks that are maybe bannable right now.
Honestly, in terms of tanks, you could, for example, also play... Last Dance could play, for example, Mal'Ganis, unless they decide that one Dreadlord in the lineup is enough.
Alrighty. Final ban for the Last Dance with Johanna Deckard on the board. Greymane already taken out. They remove the Reyna. Very sensible here. They would have so much protection for the front line that Reyna would get a lot of free damage out, and that would be rough to deal with. And he's one of the assassins that has armor if he was to use his E, meaning Jaina might have more trouble blowing him up. So now, what I quite like to see from Washed Up is to pick away Imperius, because that could still sneak in as a main tank for Breeze and just run it in the off lane.
ETC is also still up.
It is very true.
You got, there's Leo, but again, you got ETC still up. Main tank Imperius has been something that he plays multiple times, and that was incredibly impactful. And there's obviously also other frontliners that could work out. I mean, even Garrosh is still up, but yeah, when we're talking about the previous 2, those 2 would be also pretty secure. So you have pretty much 3 that would be on front line. Garrosh, Imperius, and also the former you mentioned ETC, which he takes his standard, well, pretty much just like trademark hero. And Chris is back on Falstad.
Yep, Chris also seeming to trying to file his own trademark here on this Falstad. But here is Nick, not with Kerrigan, but with Tracer. He sees 2 squishy assassins and 1 very squishy support, and he decides, why go for Kerrigan and dive where I could be knocked back by Yrel, when I can go for Tracer and dive and force Yrel out of our front line so that we have more freedom?
Yeah, the problem is that if Xaylia again still has that little side deal where he can see one second into the future, he's just going to sleep dart Tracer the entire game, and then they're going to get the kills there. So I have my eyes on Xaylia for this one. It feels like the Xaylia's just ahead of his time.
It really does, and that is a very much a double entendre, but not in the dirty way, as we are loading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. The Gul'dan should be an interesting one as well as an extra little bit of mosh up. Lots of extra damage for Anna to keep up with, especially in a more area of effect style.
Yeah, but also, again, Anna on Jaina, that's also a really good setup because you have the nano boosted setup for her that can help her in the big team fights, especially if you have a good mosh pit coming through. This is pretty tricky, so I really want to see what exactly is going to go on with this because it comes down to Nick, I feel, at the end of the day, right? He's the one who has to make the play here if they can. But yeah, game goes on, so let's jump in, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 4 as we're heading into this one, and let's find out if Washed Up can bring it back in Force map number 5, or if instead we have the series end here with a victory for Just Dance.
Will it be map number 5, or will it be a 3-0-3-5-15? $15 away from matching that 2005 or hitting that $2,500 for cure rare diseases. We're so close, everybody. I really hope that by the time we come out of this game, we will have smashed that goal as the game begins. Washed Up looking to continue the reverse sweep right now. This time we are seeing an Echoed Corruption game as opposed to a Fellflame game.
Yeah, they played it already in one of the earlier games, but I think it was in Infernal Shrines where we had that. But now also the auto attack style again. Also, we have more of a play around around Frog Rock, so still picking the globes up for Breeze now, and it's all about Nick. Nick just zipping around on Tracer, trying to get those kills in, and let's see if he can do that. He needs to be really careful. A good power slide could be his demise. One good sleep dart could ruin him, and of course there's always the first damage out of Jaina herself. So it will be an interesting game.
It really will. Wobby being forced out. He does miss the dimensional shift. The pulse bomb. Wobby able to knock Nick out of range there, so he's able to outplay him that way. Nicely done. Also, something to draw attention to here is that Chris has been stacking the seasoned marksman so fast every single game in solo lanes. Now he's in a dual. He's going to be double lane rotating. He's probably going to have this done by like 4 minutes if the previous games are anything to go by.
I hope it's not going to be that quickly, but yeah. The interesting was also that Whoopi actually pushed Tracer into tower range, which was really cool. So he did so many things with just one move. Save his own ass, and then also put pressure onto Tracer, force the recall, and force Nick to move back there. So really cool move by him. Siege Giants are also now taken by them, so that gives the advantage to Last Dance, at least on objectives. And yeah, first few stacks are together for Chris as he simply rotates between the lanes, and once that he has his level 7, he's of course gonna do this a lot faster thanks to the boomerang setup that he has.
Very true. In the meantime, Mercenaries being taken. Jaina and Ana on one side, Gul'dan and Deckard on the other. Mages and supports healing each other up here. Valstead sticking with that hammer gains, giving himself some lane sustain so he can rotate between two. And this Hand of Freedom is going to be a pretty big deal, in my opinion, as to keeping safe from Tracer. Just that extra movement speed alone could be very huge for this Urel.
And I mean, Urel, he needs to be. He's going to be super annoying in the backline anyways, because he's going to drop in every single time, but he also needs to make sure that he is as survivable as possible. And they're already starting to zone them out with the Arcane again. Ruby is now rotating down to the bottom. It's all about like turn control right now. You have both teams with roughly 40 gems. And well, that is. Rule of thumb is that you want to turn them in as quickly as you can. I mean, obviously, the more you can secure, the better. If you lose your gems, if you die a few times, it's literally your ticket back into the game. So if you lose those, then you're in trouble. If not, even if you fall behind, you can always come back by simply waiting to have even talents and then turn in multiple in a row. But that's exactly what it's potentially coming down to. Chris is also moving away. That was important. Can't die here. Not with 15 gems. That's too many in the early game.
Whoopi also has another 15. Nick has been turning his in as he rotates. He keeps grabbing gems, turning in, and then going to gank. That's kind of nice to see. Breeze goes deep. No one in position to follow up, though, but it's good damage. Jaina will pick up the blow-up there. Point grabs the first blood of the game. Breeze, though, about to be second blood, and there's no question about it.
Yeah, Breeze goes down. Zilla did as best as he could to try and save him, but he can't really do too much here. Honestly, his sleep dust, as I've said before, absolutely insane. The one that really tells me the most was when he hit one towards a teleporting Li Ming to where she would land before she teleported. I was like, what the hell? How are you doing that? Okay, so the bomb is missing in this case. Whoopi still has 21 gems, but they have the early level 7, and that's where Boomerang comes into play. And Chris is already sitting at 13 stacks towards his level 1. Now it's going to be even faster for him because of that extra AoE boost.
Absolutely, it's a little bit of extra burst damage as well, which might help out his team. Nice route from Deckard there, getting a little bit of value. But Poik looks like he might finally get his turn in. Johanna being such a pain with the interrupt will stop it once more.
1.5 minutes in, we got
sleep dart.
Few kills in. That's the sleep dart, and that's exactly what we talked about earlier. That's what I said as we loaded in. I'm okay with Nick's Tracer. I'm just a bit afraid of Zalia's Ana.
Zalia's so good, dude. I'm so glad he's back. It's absolutely insane. So much pressure being applied to Leoric in the bottom lane. Both teams have enough for a turn in, but neither one's able to gain the positioning and the angle to attempt to do so. Finally, Wobby will get his 24.
Yeah, every single time I see Zilla play any hero, I just imagine with his headphones on and the entire time the only music he plays is like and him just like playing to that. It's like the perfect Zelia setup right there. But talking about setup, yeah, go for it.
I imagine I like that idea, but also he's still wearing like the Matrix long leather trench coat the entire time he's doing it and sunglasses, just seeing the code of heroes in the meantime, but he still has that circus music playing in his ears at the same time.
Probably. Yeah, but we're talking about setups. I mean, this is the perfect setup to get a bit of a lead in this game, right? And they are already nearly locking on level 10. If they get the advantage now with heroic abilities as they push through here, that would potentially be a snowball starting up that could quickly turn into an avalanche. We have them push heavily through the bottom of the map. Taking the fountain down alone is already a bit of a win. And, well, that's a kill against Leo, so he's down. Quasar dead. Fountain at least eliminated. Come on, come on. A little bit of
get out of
pew, 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 pew.
Oh my, Chris!
Play.
Are you kidding me?
Here it is again, the bronze 5 play. With the rare exception, he had actually worked. And now 3 are down. Oh, Quasar comes back to collect the gems. Nice, that's good timing for them.
Yep, he's able to recover the gems for his team, which is a big deal. Here comes Masquerade, who also has 36 gems. Nick on the way. There's a pretty big numbers advantage here right now. Here comes Bless Shield, so they could try and turn this. Bree's getting focused down. They did burn Mosh Pit for this, though, so they decide against it and will back away. They do try to bully Quasar on the way out, but unsuccessful. And with level 10, the chase is concluded.
Honestly, it was beautiful play by Chris there. Like, that was a perfect fly and then a gust. And it will cause so many games be lost in Storm League now. As players go for the exact same play, fly in and die a second later. No, but he's at 24 stacks. I mean, seriously, he's getting absolutely crazy here. 24 stacks for him now, 25, so he's getting closer and closer to completing it. And we're only 7 minutes into the game. Red team turns in though, so that's actually something that they would have probably loved to interrupt. Maybe hold it a little bit longer, but it's even talent, so you can't really bully them too hard here. But that's the opportunity to fight back now for Washed Up.
Yep, they can try and turn this into their favor with a good push. They have all their heroics off cooldown, so this will be their chance to try and make their way back in. Top Web Weaver pushed very far back. Tracer's trying to give that some assistance, but in the meantime, mid lane is where it's at.
Yeah, Camp is pushing in. They're trying to go for the Web Weavers. All of the Web Weavers are still on lane. They got the wave clear. They got quite a bit of it. Whoopi already with his own ult on the other hand, and he needs to be careful. He's sitting at 34 gems and he can't lose those. So easy peasy. Moves down to the bottom of the map to defend there. Mid lane has already been taken care of, and Falstad has rotated towards the top to deal with that. 28 stacks by now for him. They're getting closer to it.
Dark Wave coming out on both lanes, doing some pressure. Chris Forster back up, but he's still cleaning very effectively, and with the help of his team, they force the disengage. Both teams able to put up a solid defense, but significantly better from the last dance here, as they were able to pick up a fort on their push. Powerslide comes out, Ironskin shuts it down.
Yeah, and both teams are also now in another position where they can get a full turn in if they just get the heroes in position. Masquerade holds 37, Quasar 20. Those two alone amongst themselves can easily take that. I'm not taking it. They're trying to go for Leo and take him down, but he gets out. Turn-in on the other hand at the bottom of the map. Whoopi, yeah, 38. Easy. Let's turn that in and get rid of it so that we can play a little bit safer. Up at the top though, the Fear and Breeze, 27! No way! What the hell? That prog rock value right there. Comes in with a heal. And
I don't even think they needed a gust. He just left. He just walked away.
He was pretty much out. I mean, this was pretty much a better save than sorry gust that we saw there. But yeah, damn.
They will escape, and ETC Breeze just walks to bot lane and turns in. Yeah, I don't know what we expected, but that's what he does. Able to turn in and grab his team. The second set of Web Weavers here. And they're going to begin to group up in mid/top and get ready for another push with level 13s available for both teams.
Yeah, and they obviously already took down one fort. Now there's the chance to take out the next. Already working on the wall and taking that slowly down. Whoopi down here trying to prevent the rotation from the Quasar. Well, not really prevent it, but just slow it down. so that there's a little bit more damage that's done in the middle and up at the top, and that's exactly what's happening here. The Quasar with his 26 gems needs to be careful, and look at Masquerade. He's at 48. Uses the Iron Skin to dodge out on Breeze's stun, and does so just in the nick of time. If one of those two dies, especially if it's Johanna and they don't pick up the gems, it would be such a disaster.
It really would. Wubby going very far forward. On defenders back off cooldown. Here comes the Blast Shield. They're going to try and turn it. Tomb and the Horrify both used, and Chris is able to roll away. Mosh Pit's still available, but you can see Breezy's holding it, buying time. Nick focused down. He's not able to kill him off, but they do grab the Auric.
Yeah, Leo down, but they at least get the gems. Masquerade! Masquerade! The slide! Oh my god, if they get him! They take
They got
him! No, he's down, but they collect the gems. Falls that flies, and immediately gets the bomb. Nick doesn't hesitate a second, but that's 2 kills, 2 important kills. Now they save the gems, but obviously this is now also additional gems in the hands of Last Dance. They're nearly in a position where they can go for another turn in. 11 minutes in, and the quest is completed for Chris. Ooh, we're looking at 7 kills against 2. And level 16 in just a sec.
That was clutch that they got Johanna there, and the reason they got it is because Water Elemental is immune to the unconscious condition. It did not go to sleep during the stay a while and listen, and as such, it got the last auto and finished off Johanna. Boss gonna be stolen. They don't have enough for a turn in. Gul'dan tries to sneak a couple gems in. Oh, they do now, sorry.
Got enough, yeah.
Yeah.
They just picked it. Are they going for it though? They go for the Quasar! Oh! And he survives.
His butthead was tickled by the explosion hammerang there, but in this case not able to finish the job. Boss will take out top lane, but counter Red Web Weavers and a Mercenary Camp stolen by Washed Up, keeping themselves in this game by creating some counter pressure to give them some breathing room.
But it's becoming harder and harder for them to really establish a position in this game. It's honestly getting pretty problematic. We have 16 talent on the board for the Last Dance, but also we have 3 forts eliminated on the side of Washed Up. So without the outer ring of defense available anymore, this also means that their position to fight for those turning points has become incredibly difficult. Since we still have those forts available for their opponent, so Last Dance has on every single lane a fountain that they can use whenever they come into a fight, or just simply, when it is a little bit of a longer battle, fall back, tap off again, and then move in. And that means a lot on a map like this. So as they defend, they're in a great spot, and we have the blue team again, trying to be aggressive here. Stay a while, and nothing happens because Falsa just says, like, yeah, not happening, bam, Gust, here you go.
Yep, counter Gust, nicely done. Webby was killed off in every single lane except for top lane, but Hero still standing around here. Chris might look for the killer today. Quasar Hero Breeze getting the good stun, and they pick him off again. Gems will be recovered this time, though.
Yeah, 8 kills to 2. And they're taking the lead. Slowly and steadily, a little bit at a time, widening the gap. Nearly 2 levels ahead right now. A solid 1.5 level already as is. Now we're seeing them going for the camps here. And as in previous games, Chris is just sitting on the side lane. He's just moving from lane to lane. He's not really contributing too much on the damage output against heroes yet. I mean, he's not horrible by any means, don't get me wrong. He's at 28,000. That's actually the same amount that Gul'dan, the top damage dealer for Washed Up, has so far put on the board. But the more important part is, he's at 115,000 siege damage, and the more siege damage he dishes out now, the more stacks he's going to get for his level 1, which is then going to be helpful in the late game. So Chris is just murdering it.
Yeah, he's at 52 stacks. He's been done for about 3 minutes now. He's been doing a fantastic job, and is continuing to gain damage for the late game. Finally, Blue Web Weaver's going to be moving in as well. They're going to try and put some pressure onto this middle lane.
And obviously one of the heroes that's totally going to hate this is Tracer. She hates that auto attack damage. She's just like, yeah, I could do without that, thank you. Can you stop stacking that boy? Yeah, stay a while and listen once again. The Horrify comes out and the Blessed Shield at the same time. I don't really think that did enough for them. Breeze is already on half HP, but it doesn't really matter because Web Weavers are barreling down on every single keep that we have in the game now. And honestly, they're with the back to the wall. This is a 2-level lead already for Last Dance. They want this victory. They want the 3-1. And Washed Up is desperately trying to hold on to this game somehow.
They turn around and blast a Quasar. Chris barrel roll again. He will survive. A Quasar is sniped away. They've used down a boost. Remember, it will not be available, but they do still have Gust for disengage. And they still have Mosh Pit if this chase goes too far. If Nick overextends here, he will get absolutely killed here. One keep down. Bot lane was cleaned out by the Web Weaver.
Yeah, every single objective, and it's a new play around structures. They could even get this one because we can expect them to get level 20 now. There it is. And with those Storm Talons, Poik eats the entire corruption, so that hurt. But they could theoretically just try to go do exactly that. Try to go for the kill, try to go for the keep. There's already the Wind Talon into the corner. The Mosh gets interrupted, but Gul'dan is dead already. Gul'dan down, and they're looking for more. Breeze is a bit low. Ooh, stay a while, and there's the slide, and the old man gets bullied. Banana Age with 31 gems, he dies. Here comes the Entomb, but it is a desperate attempt by Washed Up to somehow save this game, and I don't think it's going to happen. With 3 down, this might just be the end catcher.
This fight went on for so long, Nano Boost came off cooldown and was used again. They make their way in. They're going to try and rush down the core. 16 seconds for Gul'dan. Nick is doing everything in his power to try and hold it. He might get Wubby, but Wubby backs away to the rest of his team. Breeze is tanking, but Chris is untouched as they focus down the core. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion in Cup number 2. It is going to be the last dance, taking the 3-1, and they get revenge after week 1.
Nicely done. I mean, honestly, good job here. We still had one map won by Washed Up, but obviously an incredible performance here by especially the last dance. Both teams played great. Late already, 2 a.m. nearly, so the final map. But yeah, it was just too good. Honestly, the coordination here was just great. And there's a couple of core elements now in the draft that we see from Last Dance that I'm sure they're going to have trouble to establish in upcoming games next week, assuming that both teams will participate in the third cup. And yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to it because it seems like a little bit of a blow for blow setup in between those tournaments now. So it's going to be a cool story. Heading into the first monthly final is going to be pretty amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
We are building a monumental rivalry between these two teams, like you say. So this monthly final is going to be good. And then, of course, you can't underestimate the fact that both these teams lost a map in the semifinals as well. So we've got to be worried about Spindel. You've got to be worried about Loba's fan club. The monthly finals are going to be off the hook. But first, we have Cup 3 still coming next week because Tuesday night is Heroes Night. And this is where the excitement lives.
Exactly, and we had 2 insane cups already, and now we're heading into the third one before we head into the monthly final, but it's going to be super awesome. And also, talking about awesome, we also beat the goal here. We beat 2,500 by another 95. Thanks so much to everybody contributing here to the charity and to a good cause. It's very much appreciated, and you guys are amazing.
It is truly good work. There's still a couple. You can still donate, I believe, when the stream is offline. It's ! charity. If you want to throw in some little extra at the end, it would be very appreciated. But right now, Cure for Rare Diseases, you guys have done an amazing job raising money. Thank you to Method for matching a lot of those donations as well. And we've all done a good thing here today. This is some really good work while having some amazing games of Heroes.
Yeah, and again, games today. Cool to also like see more and more ex-pro players coming back for this and having some fun with this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see if maybe with the next few tournaments we're gonna either have them play here again, if maybe something else is gonna happen. We're gonna get I don't know, Nurok back for a day or two. So that would be kind of cool as well.
It would be very cool. I would enjoy that a lot. I'm definitely 100% behind that idea. We'll have to wait and see. And you guys can, of course, find out by tuning in next week. You can find out more information about the Cups by following Method on social media. You can check out the Twitters to find updates on the Cups and to check out what Method are up to. They want to hear from you on Instagram, and you can find links to all of these by hitting !socials in the chat. Make sure you send them a message on Twitter. Let them know how much you appreciate them helping out the Heroes of the Storm scene.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're also done for the day. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope that you enjoyed the show here. Big thank you to all of you for actually helping out with the charity goal here today. It was absolutely amazing. We're going to see you next week again on Tuesday. So make sure that you tune in for that when we have our Method Mayhem weekly tournament number 3. It's going to be awesome. Tetch and I are going to be back for that. And guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, night, wherever you are. And we're going to see you next week with more Heroes of the Storm.